Well, I was most pleased with how our bench players came in and really produced and when we needed them to. That's one of the things you always wonder about a team early in the season is how your players that don't start the game, how are they going to contribute? And I thought they did a remarkable job this weekend, and I thought we played really, really well. We've got a long way to go, obviously, but I like the direction that we're headed, and this weekend was a great measuring stick for us. And like you said, we did a lot of things well, but as a coach, we found a million things we need to work on to get better. Taylor's just being Taylor. She's just an amazing offensive threat. She can score the ball almost any way that you can score a ball in the game of basketball. And as a matter of fact, at one point she asked if she could play the post position and post up. And we didn't let her do it, but she can do it. And it's funny that we've got a few set plays down the road that we're going to put in for her to be able to do that as well. So, but yeah, she can do it all. And when you have a player like her, you just let her go do her thing, try to get out of her way. Well, just keep working at it. I wish I had a better answer, but we've got a long way to go defensively. But I am pleased that we were able to guard and defend and really rebound the way that we did this weekend. I thought we really got better. The longer the weekend went, I thought we defended a little bit better. I wish we could have played one more game on Sunday, just to be able to see if we could improve even more. So luckily for us, we get our chance soon enough with the game here tomorrow night. Well, it's so cliche to say, but you've got to win your home games, especially conference. And, I always kind of preach to our team that there's no one game more important than the other. They're all of equal value, no matter where you play them. But there is something to be said about performing well and playing well on your own home floor. And so I hope that we can do that. I'm excited about playing our first home game here, and I know that our team is too. Well, that's the conference schedule for you, and they lay it out and we play it. We don't complain about a whole lot. Whatever they tell us to do, we do. And that's, they wanted us to play on Tuesday after Thanksgiving, so that's what we said we would do. It's kind of the way that it works, the way that I look at it is it's early for them as well. They probably don't want to play this game early either, but it's the way that it works out, and we're going to do it and see how it goes. Well, it's obviously, like I said, all games are of equal value, and you want to get that first one under your belt. I remember that this time last year we played our first conference game and we did not win it, so you kind of do feel a little bit behind the times a little bit if you don't get that first one. But, it really doesn't matter to me. We've got to approach every game exactly the same. And hopefully do well. Conference is going to be really tough this year. A lot of great teams. A lot of coaches are doing a great job in our conference right now. They got their teams really prepared, and Tuesday will be no different. It's probably the most pleasant surprise of anything that has happened so far this season in that we knew the players that were coming in off the bench, we knew that they could play. But you never really know what they can do until actual games get here. And now that we've got 4 under our belt and we've played, our bench has played significant minutes in each of them, I'm really pleased at that because one of the things that we always tell our team is that every team in the country has 5 players. Anybody has 5. But if you've got 13 that can go at any time, can play multiple positions, and you don't ever have to worry, your team doesn't miss a beat when you sub, that is a tremendous advantage for a coach and a team. And depth is the one thing in basketball that you've got to have if you're going to make a championship run, and I think we have that.
Yeah, again, our goal is to come out and win every game, and I think we're pretty good at the Janelle Center and playing at home, and all 3 games have been at home. So I would say, yeah, this is exactly where we wanted to be and expected to be, although, you got to go out and put the work into it and get it done. But this is, 100% what we expected to be. We've really, in a year and a half with Quay, have got him to buy into the defensive side of the basketball, and that part of the game. I feel like he's really gotten better since he's been here. He's still got some ways to go, but he's made a lot of progress, and knowing that, he's got to move the basketball and get his teammates to help him get the open shot. And then at the same time on the defensive end of the floor, I feel like he's just got a kind of a new focus and playing with a lot of effort on that end. And hopefully he just continues to get better. That game to me, in my opinion, we faced some adversity. We've got a shot blocker in Justin Hollins who didn't play. And when you have a guy that's been cleaning up a lot of our defensive mistakes, on the perimeter, and then they come in there and he swats them away. Your team's faced with a little bit of adversity and has to play pretty good. And Prince Foster really impressed me. He played 39 minutes in the game, and he played a lot more at the 4 than he did at the 3, which is where he normally plays. And he had to battle their 6'8", 6'9" stud inside and was guarding in the post. And I think he ended up with 18 points, 5 rebounds, a block, a steal. I mean, he just really filled the stat sheet. But to play nearly the entire game and play as hard as he did was huge for us. Well, it's back-to-back games against St. Mary's. So, we're familiar with the opponent. We understand that we're going to have a bullseye on our back. They're going to want to get revenge in their own arena. I think that kind of speaks for itself, that our guys ought to know that with the way that we performed the other night, that I think they're going to want to come out and get revenge on us. We set this game up on purpose this weekend the way we did, because conference play is now going to Thursdays, Saturdays, where you'll get 2 at home, and then the next week you'll be 2 on the road. And so we wanted to set it up just like that to get a feel for a Thursday, Saturday road experience. And so we went ahead and scheduled St. Edwards on the road for Saturday, who will be a tough opponent. They're playing really good basketball right now. So it'll be a good stretch, a good experience for us to prepare for conference. And then, then the first conference game is at Midwestern. So, 3 road games, hopefully you can get them motivated to know that St. Mary's is coming for you. And then hopefully we can take care of business on Saturday. And then, conference play, they ought to be jacked up for that, just knowing that Midwestern was picked number 1 in the polls. This week, man, I really hope we stay healthy. Like right now, I've got the sniffles. I'm not feeling very good. Last week we had a couple of guys that were kind of down and out. And so I'm hoping that we can get healthy. Hopefully we can get Justin Hollins back to the court. And just some improvement. I think we've got to execute a little bit better. Our turnovers are too high, and I'm not pleased with those. So we went back and watched those as a team last night. A lot of them are silly, unforced errors, and then some of them are execution. So hopefully we can clean up those execution errors and footwork errors in the next 2 or 3 days. Yeah, I think this level, probably more than any other level I've coached at before, I always talk to the team, really probably starting in September, telling them about how the first game is just as important as the 13th conference game. If you and the Lone Star, with as tough as it is, you don't always have to win in order to get into the NCAA tournament, because there's at large bids that are available if you perform well in in-region games. And so we tell them that, hey, look, you've got to be in shape. You got to be firing on all cylinders by November the 11th or 12th or whatever it is, in order for a chance to play in the NCAA tournament, in case you don't win the Lone Star Conference tournament. So, we try not to beat it to death and tell them just how important they are, but you could tell that our message got through to them on Friday night's game, because they were focused like they should be, for any game.
Well, it's a big equalizer. To play somebody 3 times, it kind of levels the playing field. They know what we like to do. We know what they like to do. It's a matter of who can handle that the most, the best. And, they present some very unique problems and challenges for us to defend. They've got talent all over the place, a really good setter, a middle and an outside that can score basically every time they swing, or just about. So we have to dial in and focus really on what they do and work hard to stop it. Well, they're definitely geared towards postseason and geared towards opponents. We want to touch the ball. Obviously, you spend a few days off for Thanksgiving break. You got to get in and touch the ball and get your rhythm back a little bit. But beyond that, you're really focusing on who's in front of you. And for us, that's Kingsville. So we're spending a lot of time, kind of mimicking the things they do in practice, so that we can be prepared for them. We've been that way all year long. So it's kind of. You kind of have to embrace it. If you don't, if you play in fear, you're going to lose. You're not going to maintain that stature very much longer. So we've known from day one of this season that we're going to have a target on our back. They voted us preseason number 1 in our conference. We upheld that. And but at this point, there's no target. Anybody can win. It's kind of it's a level playing field for everybody. There's 8 teams in our region. Only one of them wins that last game. So we're working hard to try to be that one, and You know, it is. It's very cliche to say it's one game at a time, but you can't look at it any other way. You'd be crazy if you did, you know. And so we're focused on Kingsville, and we'll see what happens after that. Well, obviously we have a very unique set of circumstances here. We have a great arena. We have great crowd support, great community support. It's a tough place to play for everybody, and so it certainly is an advantage. But one thing that we learned from last year's regional championship is that it's not a given. You know, we didn't lose a single match all year long last year until the last match we played, you know, and that stings. So we have to learn from that. We have to understand that there's nobody that's going to walk into our arena and say, oh, well, we can't win here. You know, everybody's going to try to win, and we have to expect that. So, you know, we use the experience to grow and be more prepared, you know, but know that anything can happen, and we're working to keep things in our